following preview has been rated Good Weird by Nicho.
And Just Weird by Chris.
By the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast. Please check out the full episode when it releases on Wednesday. This Christmas season, the spirit of the holiday is in the air. Though the Grinch wishes for despair, the Good, the Bad, and the Weird tackles one of Chris's favorite actors who you can't see most of the time. Get ready for a holiday episode sure to tarnish your Christmas spirit with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm Nicho.
And I'm Chris. And let's be very clear. This is not my favorite actor. This is a joke.
I know. It is a very... If you listen to the full episode, Chris goes into it a bit more, but
I do.
Yeah.
But I will concede. Jim Carrey, despite me not liking him, mostly because he has a rubber man face, and I am like a small child who is afraid of hats and beards, I'm afraid of Jim Carrey's face. However, he does a great job in this movie, despite this movie being not that good. There's a lot of plot hole points that are just left into the air. We discuss, is there an implication that the Who's have World War I? We don't know. Maybe. Probably.
What is the power structure of the Who town? Are they ruled by a religion because they have a book of Who?
Is Santa specific to the Who's, or is it like all of Seuss? Is it also maybe Tim Allen?
Or the Santa from Narnia?
I don't know. We never will know, because this movie is only more confusing.
Yeah, we definitely went into this movie in our standard mindset of over-analyzing a bunch of bullshit.
We did, which was really fun, because I know that there's a lot of people who love this movie, and I went into it with a bad attitude like a Grinch, and I enjoyed that. Like, I am aware that this is, for a lot of people, a fun and classic holiday movie. It's on ABC every single year, and has been for ages now. It is part of the 24 movies of Christmas, and I'm aware of that. But I'm a cynical asshole, and so I watched it like one.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think they did a bad job of bringing it to the silver screen. I think Jim Carrey gave, for the most part, a good performance.
Honestly, it's one of the better interpretations. It's very hard to do Seuss.
Yeah, it's just difficult rewatching it as an adult, not having seen it in probably a decade. And with the same festive tinted glasses that I probably would have back in high school.
Sure. I think the other thing that makes it a little bit more difficult to watch is we're now like 3 or 4 versions of the Grinch deep, and we have multiple versions of Seuss in both live action and in animation, some more successful than others. We've seen the horror that is Cat in the Hat that we never want to relive. And we also have like much better interpretations that are full-length animated movies that did do well, and while they are not, like, true or faithful to the original source material to the extent that, like, I'm sure Dr. Seuss himself would have wanted, they are good, and they're fun interpretations. This is somewhere in the middle, but it was the first for a lot of us.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I understand trying to expand it out, and you do have to have that certain level, because, I mean, to be fair, Dr. Seuss books are 20 pages of short poetry.
They are, and they're not even poetry that, like, adds to anything. Most of it is made up nonsense words that he made himself.
And I think that's part of the issue is where they dive into the weird in this movie is incorporating real world stuff compared to incorporating like the weirdness from Dr. Seuss. Yes. And it's in a way where like I personally like Takashi Miike, a handful of Takashi Miike's live action adaptations of anime. Similar things can be said. People like the animated better, and the live actions don't compare. But I think what Miike does is he grounds it in the real world, where that has the opposite effect on this movie, where grounding it in the real world doesn't work in the way I think they wanted it to. Like, it
just leaves too many holes.
It's an attempt to try and add adult humor or references that kids aren't going to pick up on that doesn't work for the movie as a whole.
I agree, and I think part of that is because there's really only one adult humor that kids aren't going to get, and it's the one that for a lot of us flew over our heads, which is the swingers key bowl scene. Yeah. It is funny, it is clever, it's not in the taste of Seuss, but you know what, it made it into the film. I'm not gonna lie though, the rest of the adult humor in this was pretty blunt. It was pretty straightforward, to the point where even a kid is going to recognize that, you know, face to boob is adult humor.
Yeah, or it's just like, ooh, he touched titties.
Oh, he kissed a dog's butthole.
Yeah.
Like, it's that sort of humor, which isn't really in the vein of Seuss, but it is in the vein of Jim Carrey, so it kind of depends on what you were hoping to watch.
And to be fair, Dr. Seuss, I don't know, is real. I don't think his stuff's really comedic per se. It's whimsical.
It is whimsical. No, but yeah, comedies not in the same way that this is comedy. There was a few quips, a few jabs, but like for the most part, yeah, his stuff wasn't comedy. It was whimsy. This movie's not really whimsical. But with that said, the architecture that was designed for this, very good. The prosthetics looked fantastic. The acting, stellar. Had a great time. It's just a bit much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they overdid it just enough where the bad doesn't overshadow the good parts of the movie.
Sure.
But the weird aspects as an adult definitely distract from everything else. Because I'm sitting there like, wait, is that a World War II hat?
Yeah, no, it is distracting. But at the same time, it's been on so long that at this point, I've given up. Yeah. It's just part of the 21 days of Christmas or 24 or however many days of Christmas ABC has decided we're watching this year.
Yeah.
Like, it's just part of it. And honestly, it's fine. There are other holiday movies that I hate a lot more. And there are other holiday movies that I love a lot more. But that's part of the holiday movie collection. Get to watch them all. Because somebody in your family loves this movie, don't they?
Yeah, no, exactly. So, but anywho, this has been the Good, the Bad, and the Weird previews.
Check out the full episode.
Peace.